Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with the Internal Revenue Service. Welcome to the home of the 5-minute video. I can tell you everything you need to know in 5 minutes. I worked at IRS for a decade. I've been in private practice for 4 decades. In August, I will have worked there. I've been doing this for 50 years, so don't I look good? Anyway, I have a whole team of former IRS agents. I'm a national expert in resolution matters. I've been on national TV bunches of time. If you go to my website at 777irs.com, you can find out that information there. I do these YouTubes for 3 reasons. So A, you hear what insiders think, IRS agents think about matters. I go do this to educate you. And number 3, so you don't really get ripped off in the area of IRS offer and compromise. There's a gout of fraudsters trying to collect your money. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about IRS audit representation and whether you need a former agent or not, like us, to get involved. You know, if your audit is simple, like I said, I've been doing this 50 years. There's nothing preventing you from doing your own representation. If you feel good about your records, just go ahead. Number 2, I don't be an alarmist. I'm not an alarmist when you get an IRS audit notice. You know, everything's going to work out. You don't have to be scared. This isn't a CSI or a big federal FBI investigation. You know, no matter what your records are like, you can always get by the IRS audit. Just don't be an alarmist on it. If your audit has audit of substance and you think there's maybe $50,000 or $60,000 involved, you probably want to get a professional like us or somebody that you know involved in this. It only makes sense, and I'll tell you why. You got to ask yourself, how good do you feel about your records? If your records are about an 8 or 9, you can do this yourself. If your records are 5, 6, 7 or less, you need to get somebody else involved who can make you look better than you can make yourself look. When I was worked for IRS, it's easier for someone else to make you look good than to make yourself look good, because to try to make yourself look good is pretty self-serving, and the agent can see through that. One of the things you want to make sure is that IRS doesn't expand the audit. They can expand this audit 2, 3. Sometimes you have omission of over 25% income. They can go ahead and move it back 4, 5, or 6 years, depending on the case. Most time 3 times. 3 years will be the most. So if you think your records are not in that good a shape, you really need to get someone else involved. There's a lot of negotiation that goes in the audit. Not every client we represented have all their records. You have to put some records together, and the one thing that former IRS agents know are how to reconstruct records and to say, hey, we might not have all the records, but we do have these, and this is similar to what this person would have if you gave us a lot more time. And then there's the Cohan rule, which I'm not going to go into, but a lot of times if you don't have records, tax reconstruction and method reconstruction can easily go ahead and be done or taken care of. So don't get all caught up with the audit. You don't need to do that. But like I said, if your records are good, represent yourself. If not, the reason I tell you to use former agents is, like, we know the system, we know the methodologies, we know how to negotiate, we know the do's and the don'ts, and what should we do here. We know when to appeal cases and move forward, and we know kind of how to squeeze the agent in a box if we have to, if in fact it calls for on that case. There's a lot of good people out there, but I'm going to tell you, and I'm not patting myself on the back or saying look for IRS agents, they're the best, but in all reality, if you've worked at IRS more than 5 years, you know the system and you know what works and what doesn't work, and you have worked hundreds and hundreds of cases, and you're going to know how to get the best results. That should make sense, and that's the God's truth. Anyway, you can find my information down in the description section below. We have former IRS auditors on staff, revenue agents, former appellate agents. tax attorneys. We do it all from a very simple audit to complicated off, and we can go ahead and settle your case from there. Thank you for listening. I'd appreciate a subscription. If this was good, always appreciate subscriptions. And if you want to leave a comment, you're welcome. I try to get to all my comments by the end of the week. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.